On tonight's episode, Coulson has a nice little chat with General Hale, but are other people going to have a possible scare whenever Creel shows up offering a nice little present? And back at the lighthouse, what's worse than seeing a possibility of Hive or a bad deathlock running around? How about Hydra Fitz? Find out what happens here on Nephilim Entertainment. Hey, what is up, agents? What is up? Welcome back to the program. I'm your host, S.H.I.E.L.D. Thanks for tuning in. This is Nephilim Entertainment, and we are covering Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 14, The Devil Complex. Spoilers, so sit back and enjoy. If you have not watched it, I recommend you do, because I think this right now is by far my favorite episode to date of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But let us begin. So we find out Gemma and Fitz are talking about wishes. What kind of wish would you want to come true? Well, they spitball a couple ideas, flying, possible food. Apparently Fitz is always hungry. But we find out that more looming threats tend to show up, including some of Gemma's past, when an astronaut shows up, basically wreaking havoc on our people. Apparently that's someone's greatest fear, but not Gemma's. What is Gemma's greatest fear? But elsewhere, Elena, or Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo is pushing herself. Elena is pushing herself way too much. It's causing concern for Mac. But honestly, ever since the framework, these people have not had a moment's rest. I mean, literally, they have not had a moment's rest. They're constantly going against one threat after another. I mean, what happened to just mundane days at work? I mean, just walking in, just, ugh. It's another day, Ted. I know, Bob. I mean, why can't we just have some, just casual days for our people? But no! Post-apocalyptic things are happening. There's no rest for the weary. Ugh. So, in other news, surprisingly, Deke is being awkward as hell. They're sitting there discussing the possibilities of a total meltdown, a possibility of the rift tearing the world apart, and Fitz can't work his noggin to try to figure out how to solve this. And you have Deke standing off to the side, staring awkwardly at him. And Gemma, dude, look, I understand you had an epiphany, but you gotta stop being a creeper. It's a little off-putting. And I'm a guy, and I'm in the audience, and you're not real. But still, awkward. But our people have tracked down General Hale. So Coulson and crew pretty much bag and tag. They captured our general, and now they're gonna have a nice little talk and try to figure out and get to the bottom of all this dilemma. Meanwhile, the lighthouse goes into kind of a frenzy, because guess who should show up but Hydra Fitz. Alright, now the fun times have begun. One of my favorite parts of Fitz's story is when he was Hydra's doctor and leader and superior, Leopold Fitz. So he's back, and apparently Anton Ivan, the superior, or little boy in a jar who's got basically anatomic replacements, is now working with General Hale too. So that's what, 4 baddies right now, including Ruby. So now with the basic head in a jar, he's now working with the good general. So what does that spell for our group? Impending doom, apparently. But that's nothing compared to what's going on back at the lighthouse, because Hydra Fitz apparently is after Inhumans. With Hydra Fitz and him now reprogramming the robots that basically we find out Anton has built. who work as secondary soldiers and basically all around just go-to people. Apparently, Hydra Fitz has reprogrammed them, and now they are keeping people in check and attacking our people. Or are they? Are they attacking our people, or are they being provoked? That's a good question. Because while Hydra Fitz is apparently after Daisy, no less, we find out that Coulson is going to have to strike a bargain with Hal whenever Creel shows up with bombs. So, what's the verdict? Coulson ends up going with the baddies. Of course. Sacrifice play, leave it to Coulson. Right? So with him going with the baddies, that just leaves us back at the lighthouse and Hydra Fitz. He's restoring Daisy's powers. Wait, what? Yeah, apparently Hydra Fitz has got the overall plan that he is going to restore Daisy's powers. She's not going to like it, but apparently it's going to solve the problems. So now you're helping us? Wait, aren't you a bad guy? Why are you helping us? But we find out that Fitz apparently is losing his mind. Yes, if you look back, you find out that everything that was happening was not something from the fear dimension. It wasn't an anomaly. It was Fitz himself. And apparently Hydra Fitz is all in his head. And apparently that's his voice slash conscience slash crazy self telling him what to do. And him stripping away the power inhibitor on Daisy was his way of solving his dilemma with the gravitonium. Okay, I just want to point this out right here. First of all, this is way out. I did not see this coming. I'm ashamed to say it. I'm surprised. It had faked me. I did not see it coming. But at the same time, I'm happy that it wasn't an anomaly, that it was actually part of Fitz. So that means that the Hydra Fitz is still there, and I love it. But I got to thinking back. I remember, because when he first is introduced, first shown to actually be there, first we see the astronaut, basically being formed. Okay, well then we see Hydra Fitz. He is dressed in disguise, and he knocks Deke out. I remember thinking, okay, Hydra Fitz, he's the only anomaly I've seen that actually is wearing the disguise and kind of going incognito. My mind did not process further, because if I would have thought about it, why was the anomaly hiding itself in the first place? I mean, it's more or less an expression of thought and not really a real form, so it would just pop up. It wouldn't be incognito trying to disguise itself. Yet I didn't think of that, and ta-da, kind of find out it actually wasn't an anomaly, it was Fitz. I love that. I love it. That's part of the reason why I love this. That plot twist, that was what made this my favorite episode by far. But with the plan in motion, the plan is actually put to test. His reasons to disable the inhibitor was because he wanted Quake to use her powers to sort of condense the gravitonium so they can put it in his little toy, and that way they can close the dimension rift and save the day, right? Well, the plan worked, but at what cost? Apparently the people were kind of Daisy's a little traumatized. I mean, if you were attacked by your supposed friend, hogtied, and he committed surgery against your will on you to do something that you deep down was afraid of, because honestly I thought maybe it was Daisy's fear projecting itself, the fear of her powers being brought back. Anyway, not the point, but yeah, I mean, Daisy's a little traumatized. Mac had to get shot because he engaged the robots, which Fitz said he set them basically to subdue, not to engage, so that's probably why they were doing it, just basically to keep people in check. But the cost is that Fitz actually surrendered by getting on his knees, putting his hands behind his head. They locked him up in a cell, and now Gemma's having a question of Fitz's well-being and his state of mind. Now, this is where Deke comes in, and he finally does it. He basically tells Gemma everything she knows about Fitz and explains everything that makes her love him and him love her. And this kind of freaks her out, and he says, and I quote, "is what my mother used to tell me about her parents and how much she adored her father and her mother and how he was the best man she ever known." And holy crap, Jimmy put it together. We're your grandparents. Yeah. The audience knew, Deke knew, now you know. Yay! How do you react? You vomit. It was such a heartwarming moment too. I mean, here Deeks is almost in tears, Jim is almost in tears. They're just like looking at each other like, what does Jimmy do? Oh, what else could ruin this touchy moment? Oh yes, General Hal. Circumstances to her BS right now. But I have to say, when they were talking about the Confederacy, the first thing that popped in my mouth, or popped in my head, was the South will rise again. Then they had to end it in my whole fantasies of a possible zombie Confederate fight, whatever. Because that's the only thing the show hasn't really had, zombies. Was ended with a nice little Hell Hydra. So apparently Hydra is still in form. And look, I know that Hydra is probably a big thing in the comics. And I know that they're a potential nemesis of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But at the same time, is there any other bad guys that we can incorporate into the story? I mean, AIM's, got a big thing. I mean, is there anybody else? But I guess we'll go back with Hydra. Hydra's back, and apparently General Hal is working for them. Alright, up next for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, what is taking place? Apparently, Hydra wants to form an alliance with S.H.I.E.L.D. to protect against an alien invasion. Are we possibly queuing up for clues that will lead to Infinity War? I don't know yet. But, so apparently somebody's invading. I mean, there's so many different alien species right now that we could tap into. I mean, it might be the Cree, but at the same time, you got the Skrull, and there's all kinds of other alien species you can look at. But for right now, an alien ship is coming. Hydra has sensed it. Don't know how, but they're sensing the impending invasion, so they want to team up with S.H.I.E.L.D. and apparently work together. So this is going to be interesting. Although it would be nice to see some former baddies work on the same side as our people. So it'll be interesting to see. But it's going to be a wrap for me. Be sure to leave me a thumbs up down below. Post a comment being all friendly. Let's discuss the episode. What do you think? And stay tuned to the end of the video and subscribe for more content. But my question for y'all is, what do you think about the alliance between S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think Hydra is going to betray S.H.I.E.L.D.? Or do you think S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to betray Hydra? Plot twist. So yeah, let me know up here. But I'm Metatron URL, and you're watching Nephilim Entertainment. To all you daydreamers and critters out there, keep your heads in the clouds. Peace.